Ghost Pepper, issue number 1. That's right, folks. This is a new book from Lolo. Not too familiar with their work, but I guess they worked on a lot of like video game graphic design. If you read like the message they have at the end of the book, kind of like the column page, it's like you probably have seen my artwork before. Let me just see if I can find it here. We could see some of the stuff that they've worked on. Some World of Warcraft stuff, Hearthstone. I've never played either of these, but there's also things like Battle Chasers, Night War, Darksiders, Genesis, Ruined King, Wayfinder. So a bunch of stuff. I don't know if those are all connected to Hearthstone or World of Warcraft, but this is an artist who's got a very distinctive style, and they have a new book coming out from Image, and the cover really sold me. I don't know why. I just like the energy to it. I think it's going to be a really fun one. I enjoyed this issue. Takes a minute for me to figure out what we're doing here, and there's some stuff that's just not my flavor. When it looks this good, sometimes you just gotta understand that things are different. So that's kind of cool. So this book opens up with a little bit of an info dump on the world. It is post-apocalyptic. Things aren't what they used to be. And that's because there was a great cinder, as they call it, that went across the planet. Think Attack on Titan, like a big thing that's just walking about. And then a guy came by to fight him. He like led a war against the great cinder. And they say he had laser eyes, but he's just like a guy in a helmet. And the idea is it was this guy called Batar or Bator or something like that. Just like this really heroic figure that himself was like an avenging angel and helped defeat the beast. And we are hearing this through like the reminiscence of like an old soldier that worked during the great time. And he's like leading a prayer, so to speak, towards these people. And he's like holding out his helmet, being like, and if you pay me, you're giving payment to the great savior. And he's just kind of upset he's not getting the payment amount that he thought he would. There's a kid there that like tosses him 1 coin. And his dad's like, why'd you only give him 1 coin? He's like, well, there's stuff I want to do with it. And we see what that kid wants to do with it, because then we're just going to cut to a woman in a noodle shop who is making some good food. And she's using some special ghost pepper because she makes things a little bit different. And this is Lolo? Lolo? I don't know how you say her name. Loloi. So that could be what you want. There is like an accent over the I, so I'm not sure what it's supposed to say. We'll just call her Lolai. Or Lolo? I don't know. Lolo will do for now. She's got a food truck, and she's giving food to this kid, and this kid's really happy to get his food, and she's just having a good time. The artwork looks incredible. I think that's one of the driving points of this book. Very cinematic, very anime inspired. The characters are very expressive. It's like mixing anime and like Disney, because all the characters got distinct designs and they just feel very fluid. Anyways, she's operating her food truck out of this just random place. And there's another guy there who isn't happy that his restaurant isn't getting the attention that Lolo's food truck is getting. So he forces one of his employees to like try his food, saying, isn't it good? And the guy throws up. Gets kind of mad. It's just funny, like a really fun side plot for these characters. As that's happening, there's like a big alarm that goes off, and a big robot that Lolo calls a Mako falls from the sky and is like ready to attack people. It's just destroying the sequence, and everything around them is being destroyed, and we realize that it is targeting a very specific person. A bunch of them fall from the sky. They got big triangular looking heads, very pterodactyl inspired, but like creepy robot thing. They head over to Lolo's food truck, and she's like, well, I have all the proper permits. Like, what do you think you're doing here? But they're not here for her. They're here for a guy that's eating noodles there. We just see him in silhouette. We don't see his face. And we hear somebody on his shoulder talking. I'm just going to bury the lead on that. He has a little robot on his shoulder named Jiminy that talks for him and talks to him. He's like, we should leave. Things aren't going well. We should get out of here. This Mako tries to attack this guy, but then he pushes like a barrel away from him, so he blasts out, and he's like, all right, guess I'm going to have to fight these Mako things. He just wants to eat his noodles, but he can't do that in peace. So then one of the Makos tries to attack him. He evades, and then we just see him like rip one of them in half with like Is he like holding swords, or is that the beak of the guy? It looks like he's holding a sword in one hand at least. Okay. Looks so cool. It's fun. A little obvious, like this could be like the cyberpunk future Fallout kind of style thing. A little bit of that, but there's enough different in here where I'm kind of like interested in what we're seeing. So that's kind of cool. This guy announces himself as Ash. His name is Ash, which obviously it's supposed to feel connected to the great Cinder, because Cinder and Ash and everything is connected into one thing. Pretty cool. I like it. Interesting design. He's all gray. He's got red eyes. Pretty cool. See what's up with him in later issues, I'm guessing. We then cut to see this different guy who's been like observing something with like a big telescope. He's observing the Cinder, which is just like trapped in a place, and I guess he's there to like guard it and make sure it doesn't escape its prison. This guy is Virgil Orba, and he just gets summoned by one of his henchmen named Civ, and he's like a thing happened in one of like our farther off states, and like you might want to take a look at this. Like this guy just did stuff, and he's like, oh shit, I know that guy. How is that possible? He can't be here. Why is he back here? That's not good. So Vigil just like, I gotta deal with this, okay? Like literally the world's at stake now. If this guy's back, the balance of everything's at stake. I gotta go to the capital to deal with this. Why is he returned? I don't understand it. Okay, so this Ash guy has some history to him that we don't really know. Meanwhile, we're gonna see the food truck because Lolo's driving away. She's headed down this road and like a big thing is blocking her path. So she's like, all right, how are we going to do this? I can't really like go around it. I can't really go through it. I guess I should just try to lift it. So she's going to try to like lift up this impossibly big piece of stuff. And then suddenly Ash lifts it up and Jiminy the robot on his shoulder is like, hey, good morning. Ash doesn't really know what's going on. So he's like, why am I in your food truck and why was I asleep there? She's like, if you want to know the answers to all that, you should just ask your little robot friend. And we see a flashback to the fight that took place with Ash and the other Makos, where he's just defeating them all, but he's also causing a lot of destruction and mayhem. So Jiminy's like, I think you've done enough. You should stop now. Like, I'm going to end this. And you just see Jiminy kind of like take control of him and put him to sleep. So he just passes out. So I guess when his eyes go red, it means like he's rageful and like over the top. It's got to be connected to the Jiminy stuff because Jiminy's dialogue and his word bubbles are all in red. So that's got to be something to play with there is what I'm guessing. Meanwhile, Jiminy's like, excuse me, Noodle Lady. We need to leave really quickly and discreetly. Like, could we hop in your food truck and we can get out of here? And then in the present day, Ash is like, seriously, that's what happened? You just let me sleep because I did that? He's like, just for that, you were causing destruction. So Lolo gives him another plate of noodles. Like, here, just eat this so you can replenish yourself or whatever it is you do. And we'll go from there. It's a good time. Look at this. The world's beautiful. Everyone's happy. It's the perfect time to pray. Because Lolo also worships the great savior of them, the great Batar. And that's when Ash is like, Batar? What's she talking about? And just gets so confused by the notion of that. And then you see an even bigger Mako show up to like fight them. It ain't gonna look good. And Ash is like, all right, I guess I have to take this thing down too. See what happens there. But Lolo's like, no. Let's just leave the situation. Before anything gets damaged, mainly my truck, let's just drive away quickly so we don't die. So they evade. And then Vigil is in his ship like, all right, what happened here? What's going on specifically? I don't really like what's happening. And you just see that Civ's like, well, you asked me to like detect for anomalies, and like I just received a signal from an offering collector that switched to defensive mode. This happened in the sector of the incident with the Shorfton controller. However, the defensive mode immediately deactivated without any incidents. So something must be happening. Like a thing like deactivated. So clearly this guy's returned and we're going to have to deal with it. Now he's got people who are helping him figure out what's going on. We have to destroy him before he destroys everything. One of the final lines of the book is like Orbo going, his very existence could destroy the entire society we've built over the past decade. We have no choice. We must destroy him. So there's a lot of reasons for that. I think it wants you to think that Ash is either the great Batar or is connected to Cinder. I'm leaning more towards him being connected to Cinder just because the name is very similar and they got the same body color. It looks great, and the colors are really like artful, and they pop, and the designs are really good. Like just the way the eyes look, so unique and fun, so bubbly and interesting. The designs are really cool. This has never really been my style per se, but I think we're going to continue this book. If it does well enough, we'll definitely pick it up, start talking about it, because I am curious how we're going to get all this stuff done. And is food going to play a very prominent role? We feature the title Ghost Pepper. I know that's just because like the extra element that Lola has is just like specialty, yeah. But what is that going to look like? I don't know. Very curious. I'm interested. I am interested in what that could look like. So we'll continue reading for sure. So Ghost Pepper, issue number 1. I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.